Also, day 682 without sex, the dentist told me to spit and I swallowed.
There we go. That's the intro of the podcast. You know what we're doing. We're talking about Incredibles 2 plus all the latest film news. Stick around. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Tripod Talk, where we talk anything and everything about films. My name is Matt Lidster, I'm your host, and as always, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Miss Sophie Ellis.
Hi.
Hello. And Mr. Adil Anwar.
Hey.
We are Tripod Talk. Well, we are... Never mind. How you doing? You alright?
Not bad.
Yeah?
We've all had a bit of a sugar rush and I feel like I'm going to pass out. Other than that, I'm good.
Oh, good. Dale?
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much the same, yeah.
Yeah. No, we've been riding high, as they say.
Who says that?
I don't know, but
Nobody says that.
speaking of riding high, shall we go straight into the film news? It's a great segue if I had a segue, but I don't have a segue, but I have film news. Can
Go
I
on, then.
can I fire us off, please?
Go
You
on,
can
you can
start.
start us off.
It's mainly
Look
because
at Matt doing some work for a change.
Uh,
That's ironic if anyone is listening.
but no, we've got like a load of trailers dropping. Sorry, I know you don't like that phrase, but we've had Aquaman, Shazam, Fantastic Beasts 2, Godzilla 2, and Glass. Most of them kind of comic book based stuff. DC have dropped a load of stuff. Has anyone seen any of those?
No.
I've seen Glass. I may have just seen Glass. Oh, part of Godzilla that we saw the other day, but just because it has Millie Bobby Brown in. And I think that's it. Have we watched any other trailers together? I don't think we have.
No, I don't think so.
But Glass looks amazing.
Maybe if we want to start, like, maybe we should all, if we're going to do a trailer thing, we should do it as a proper, like, segment and watch them all and talk about them specifically.
Yeah, no, so I just got really excited
No,
about
I'm curious
trailers.
about that. No, go on. Yeah. So you've seen them all,
I've seen Aquaman, and I've seen Shazam, and I've also seen Godzilla 2, Glass, and that's it. From that
actually,
list.
I remember Shazam because that has Flynn Rider.
Sorry.
Is that someone else from Stranger Things?
No, it's is it Zachary Levi? Is that how you say it?
Is it
Yeah.
a YouTuber?
He plays Flynn Rider in Tangled.
Oh, I see. He's the guy from that
He's
Bad
brilliant.
Spy show, isn't he?
No,
Chuck.
no, Chuck. That's
Isn't
a
Zachary
great
Levi
show.
From...
It is him.
Is it him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
but
great.
It's
no,
a good
that's-
show. I've
that's
never
a-
watched it, to be
Oh
fair.
no, it's really. I really
you really
enjoyed
like
it.
that,
Yeah,
I think of it in like the same box as Suits, where it's kind of like
I've never seen Suits, so I can't compare.
a show
sorry.
lots of people watch who don't want, or Power. Like, do you know people who aren't that
Yeah.
into, people who aren't that discerning viewers
Mm.
love shows and think they're really smart and different.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then I just feel super patronizing when I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch Power. I'm better than Power.
That's the only reason I've not watched it, actually.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm sick of hearing people talk about it.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah, no, sorry. Aquaman looks better than I thought it would, considering I didn't like Justice League at all.
Mm-hmm.
Though it seems very kind of Route One sort of. Basically, the premise is someone's the king. I don't know whether it is actually Atlantis, where his place of home is. If it okay, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because
he
like
has
half-
his
yeah.
he has a half brother or brother. I'm not sure if it's either one, but basically his brother's king, and he's coming in, kind of saying I'm going to be king and stuff, and then he's putting war on the world, and
I
he
saw
doesn't
something
want that,
interesting
and-
about that guy, Jason Momoa, who's in Game of Thrones as well. Apparently, they were thinking about casting him as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy instead of Dave Bautista.
Oh yeah.
And I do think he's fine, but I'm super glad the Batista guy got him there.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no.
yeah, me too.
He
I
has
think
great
he's
timing as
hilarious.
that character, so
Yeah.
that would have been a shame. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy,
Oh,
Is
what
this an
a
actual
fantastic-
segue?
This is
Yeah,
an
it
actual
is.
segue.
Oh my
Stealing
god, this
film
is
news.
one of.
Sorry, Seth. James Gunn fired from
yeah.
Guardians 3. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
follow him on Twitter actually, so it was a bit of a shock.
yeah.
Oh yeah. What did you think? Like, should he have been fired or not?
No, I've seen a lot of kind of quite good takes on the internet of like, so it was 8 years ago. He's since, they've been uprooted previously. Disney knew about them when they hired him. They talked about it. He apologized previously. He's obviously kind of got a bit of an edgy sense of humor, and that stuff is just terrible. It's not like it's bad. It's just not funny. That's
Yeah.
what upset me more than anything. But no, I don't think he should be fired. I think a lot of people are talking. I've got a friend who's talking about boycotting Disney now because it's a bit of a, if you know about the history of Disney, It's a real dodgy organization. Like, they came up off of a guy who hated blacks and Jews, and and then like there's a lot of seedy political business behavior. So trying to keep the holier than thou perception thing is annoying.
Yeah.
And just anytime anyone gets pressured by things like that, it's a bit of a slippery slope thing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, is anybody who puts any kind of opinion out there now that isn't? And it's also the fact that, not to keep going on about it, but it was like, it was unearthed by a far right group, wasn't it? Someone who said some real dodgy stuff themselves.
Oh, was it?
Someone who said something about, like, I don't understand how date rape can be a thing. Has anyone actually ever tried raping a woman?
Oh, yeah, no, I read about that.
So sorry to get dark with the Incredibles podcast, but like,
Yeah.
it's literally a bunch of far right people who started the smear campaign, and that's what got him sacked. So although his opinions are obviously not something that he stands by anymore and is stupid, ridiculous stuff, it's a scary thing that just because he was saying some liberal stuff, a group of Nazis decided to go after him. They unearthed all this stuff, put pressure on, and then Disney gave in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a scary precedent.
Yeah, no, I don't think he should have been fired. Like, if it's a similar situation that you saw a couple of months ago.
Yeah, and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Conor Maynard's brother Jack went into I'm a Celebrity, and someone brought up tweets from like 6-7 years ago that he'd already talked about and apologised for and stuff, and they knew that bringing him on, and because so many people said it, they literally kicked him out within like the first 3 days.
Was he seriously just Conor Maynard's brother though?
Oh yeah,
Jack
no.
Maynard
Conor
is a
Maynard's
YouTube.
already
He's a YouTuber.
nobody. Is he?
Conor Maynard being the singer, but Jack Maynard's like a YouTuber, but he's pretty like popular with like 12-year-old girls. I think.
Yeah, I can
It's
see
the
what
main
they're doing.
reason
I was
why.
just, that would be the thing that would be like, what? Who's that bothered to visit by that guy's opinions?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a bit of a shame. Considering I really like James Gunn and everything that he's done, so I was looking forward to Guardians 3. So I wonder if they're going to keep the script. I presume they are,
Yeah.
because he
so,
just
yeah.
finished working
Just-
on the script.
But it did have they had such a feel to them, those films, that kind of like fun, you know, like sometimes I whinge about comic book films not getting the stakes right and stuff. That one just felt like it was kind of goofy, but it was real as well. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of that comes down to the director and a lot of kind of like intangible choices they make to put a whole thing together, directors and editors and DPs and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, you worry that they're going to not get the same vibe back right with the next one without him at the helm.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. It's just a sad situation.
Yeah, pretty much. So if you want to jump us into some of the film news.
Sure.
Cherry film news.
Cherry
Buffy
film
the Vampire Slayer reboot in the works.
I saw the title of this. What's going on with
Yeah,
that?
so Whedon is involved in a new effort to reboot the idea as a TV series again, but with an African American Slayer. And Midnight Texas
Don't mean it like
developer
that.
Yeah, I
Monica
get what you mean now. Feels a
Owusu-Breen.
bit gimmicky.
Yeah, it just feels like they're trying
Maybe
to...
they'll go in like a voodoo direction.
Sorry.
You're both just talking about
No, I was trying to
on
pass.
the
I was
side.
trying to help you there because I was like, that is not how it's meant to sound. So I'll just move past it for you.
Yeah, it's fine. Either way, they just want an African American Slayer, and they just said Buffy is not a show we ever thought would benefit from a reboot, but if its potential series can take in a new direction and find fresh things, it could be worth watching.
I think we'll do like a Scooby Doo island like voodoo thing that just doesn't really play.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really. I don't know. I'm done with reboots and.
Plus, it's not
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, so you can't dribble everywhere.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No.
That's not, don't just blame Matt for that. Back to Scooby Doo, by the way.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
No, that it just seems like I know they're trying to go for diversity and everything, but just kind of leave something as it is.
Yeah.
I know. I'm curious about who made the announcement as well. Like, are you gonna actually have black people like producing and directing and creatively making it, or because then that's, you know, at least you're showing some commitment to what you're doing there. But if it's still just like a bunch of the same writers doing it, then you kind of it just feels a bit.
Yeah, like an empty shell sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a gesture.
Kind of goes into a little bit of not real. No, I'll leave it. I thought it could tie into what I think about Incredibles later, but we'll talk about that
we'll
later.
We'll get to that.
Just talking about the new Joker movie. Someone else has been signed to the cast. Is it Zazie Beetz? The new
From Deadpool 2.
Yeah,
And Atlanta, she's
she's
great.
yeah, she is great. So I'm excited. She's gonna talk. I can't pronounce the name. Jacqueline Phoenix. Is that what it is?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I always get it wrong. I was saying it before, and I was just like, nope, that guy, Phoenix boy.
So that's already made me instantly more excited because she was awesome. So I was just waiting to see her in something else.
Classic, not age appropriate relationship as well.
Yeah.
It's not as bad with the Joker, to be fair. You don't imagine him with like a 45-year-old with 2 kids.
Yeah.
But still.
A bit of news that you probably aren't asked about because you weren't bothered about the first season, but I'm excited. Iron Fist returns in September. I feel like I'll be watching that on my own. Love Iron Fist.
I saw
He's
there
a
was
good
another
boy.
The thing is about the Netflix Marvel series now, like when they first came out, they felt amazing,
Yeah.
like to watch.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, since Defenders hit, well, I think it was from Iron Fist. Like Luke Cage kind of dropped, and then
Yeah.
Iron Fist was like, eh. If I can give an expression, it was eh.
It was good.
Defenders came together, and then they announced everything else. And Jessica Jones 2 hit, Luke Cage 2 hit, and then Punisher came out before that, and I was just like, ugh.
You like Jessica Jones too,
s-
though.
It was okay, yeah, but at the same time,
It didn't feel as fresh as like
No.
Daredevil did.
no,
and
I
stuff
feel
like
like it's
that.
done. I really do, and that's such a shame.
It's when it starts to feel like
Yeah.
it's kind of, manipulative and being made for the sake of being made. I
Mm.
saw a fair amount of whinging about Iron Fist not being Asian as well, so I think that just
Yeah.
kind of jumps back into that discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, from watching the Defenders, I wasn't Iron Fist team like the most boring vanilla
no-
dude ever, so
No,
it
I'm
might
not.
just be not
Vanilla.
the best source material, but yeah, I don't. Maybe they should have gone with an Asian person.
Yeah, maybe. But he's good, though. His little
Oh.
curly hair. Anyway, Batwoman series in the works.
All right.
Animated or live action? Does it say?
I'm pretty sure it's animated.
I would guess so too.
Yeah. Unless
Though
they're doing
actually,
it for...
it does say about talking about Arrow and the Flash being live action, so it could be that.
Oh, okay.
But she's also the first lesbian crime fighter.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Someone called Dreamer or something, isn't there as well? I was reading about recently. Is the first something like that? First bisexual or something.
Yeah, I
like
think they're
that.
bringing quite a lot. Same as
Transsexual.
we were talking about Deadpool saying he wants to explore.
Yeah, he's
well,
a
Ryan
pansex-
Reynolds wants
Ryan
to.
wants to explore his pansexuality.
Yeah.
I think it's just Ryan Reynolds being
Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds.
wanting to be, yeah, basically.
And
I was
yeah,
gonna, is
Oh.
that going to be coming out on the new DC streaming service?
it is. Yes.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
that
have you heard
good?
about that?
No.
So DC are now bringing out their own Netflix essentially, and they've got like a new. They're putting up. I know.
Oh no, now's the
Um,
time, DC.
Yeah,
Right.
they've brought out a new Titans
I
series
was
that
gonna bring up
looks.
the trailer we saw before the film, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, it looks okay. It looks like it's a really dark version of it. Looks like it's not messing about either. There's a specific line in it where Robin says "fuck Batman."
Oh yeah, I saw a
Not
bit
not
thing
in that
about
way,
that,
but yeah, no, it looks quite gritty. It looks like it could be good, but
Yeah,
there's
I'm
no
excited for
way.
that.
There's no way I'm getting on a DC streaming service.
No, I really think it's a bad idea.
Though apparently, like, sorry to cut across you. Apparently, all the comics are supposed to be available through that as well. I'm not sure how.
So you can download them
Mhm.
somehow.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
which seemed like I heard rumors about that anyway, but
Yeah.
so it might not be true. But that sounds like it could be good.
Yeah, because there are already websites out there that you just read comics. There's like one called like Comixology or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to that.
Hey, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Like that. What
What
did you think
comics
of the
do you
trailer for that Teen
Huh?
Titans film?
It was like the new Joker ones. Joker
Ah,
ones, something
okay.
like that. Anyway. moving
Yeah, no,
on.
I thought the trailer was wait for the Titans one.
Mm-hmm. We
Yeah,
saw
no,
it before
I-
Incredibles. I can see what they're trying to do.
Oh, the other one, the
What's it
Teen
the
called?
film,
Titans.
the
Teen
Teen
Titans,
Titans, the
I
the film. Yeah, that looks alright.
You had a bit of a break.
Yeah,
I
I thought you were still going on about the
Yeah, the
dark
cartoon
thingy
one
version
looks okay, but just from the TV series that's on like CITV right now,
I feel
it
like the
just feels a bit.
it feels like one of those that the trailer might have the best laughs as well. Like
Yeah.
the thing with
Yeah.
the guy not being Deadpool and like Deadpool coming first. Like
Yeah.
Also, Deathstroke being Will Arnett, always like Will Arnett in it.
I like the guy from the. I didn't like. I've watched more of the Arrow TV show than I should have because it's kind of crappy.
Mm.
But I actually like the guy they got for that a lot. Like it was.
Oh,
Someone
Joe Manganiello?
no,
is
no,
it?
it was someone else.
Oh,
He
was
like
it?
similar though. He was like a natural. He's like an Australian New Zealander kind of guy.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he was actually really good. Like kind of intimidating dude.
I always meant to watch Arrow. I just never got the time.
It's
So.
okay. It's
Yeah.
just a bit like there's too much of it as well at this point. It's a
Yeah.
bit like me going and watching The American Office now. Like I can't really be bothered committing
Yeah.
to that
Yeah.
much time.
It's like me with How I Met Your Mother. I really want to watch that, but I know there's like 9 seasons. They're like all 22 episodes a season. I'm just like, nah.
I don't think that's one that benefits from watching it in order either. It's just
No.
like you can kind of dip in and out and be like, oh, it's
Yeah.
got kind of this sense of humor. It's easy to watch background TV, but it's
Mm.
not like, oh, mate, I missed this episode 19. Doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, you got any more film news? Sorry
The
to
last
interrupt.
little bit is Kim Possible being made into a live action series.
Oh, yes. Excited about that.
He's
Yes.
excited. Table nearly just
I
flipped.
used to love that show. The what, sorry? Oh, yeah, no. I don't know. Well, I suppose it'd just be like one concise episode, but like big in terms of like its production value and scale of what goes
Yeah.
on. That'd be a universe I'd be really excited to visit again. So I hope that is that definitely confirmed?
Yeah, she's confirmed. Sadie. No, I can't remember her name.
Yeah. They've cast the person now. Like it's all happening.
Yeah,
I didn't
they've-
know if they were just kind of testing it and like putting it out there.
No,
to see
no,
whether it
it's
was-
all official. People are happy that they're actually casting a teenager rather than like an older woman as
Yeah.
a kid. 'cause I
I'm
don't
surprised they
think
did.
it played out.
You know who was? As soon as he said that, I was expecting Scarlett Johansson to go
Yeah,
the role. She needs to get a new agent, honestly.
Anyone else with film news?
I'm just really excited about Kim Possible, Bill.
Yeah, I'm good to go. I'm gonna
You
leave
good to
Matt
go?
on a high.
Oh, no.
We'll get into Incredibles.
Okay, so first, actually, we get to review two things, if anyone remembers.
Oh, the little short film first. Bow or whatever it's
Bow.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bow?
Bow.
Yeah.
Bow.
B-A-O. My brother-in-law said he reminded him of you, by the way. He didn't tell me why.
The little dumpling.
Yeah.
Oh, when he turned human.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem very
That's
nice.
not very
Yeah, I
nice.
was gonna say, should we?
I
I will
asked
be having
why, but I
words
don't
with
know.
him.
Why. He's not responded why.
Mm.
Yeah, because you can't really answer that in a nice way. He looks tasty.
You could be that.
Right.
You do get along. You know, could be one of them.
Can we review it just real quickly before we get into
Yeah, let's go
Incredibles, if you
into it.
remember it?
Yeah,
I
I
liked it.
remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really loved it. Unless maybe it's not happening everywhere, but there's a little short film
It
that
is,
came
yeah.
out right before we watched the main thing of Incredibles 2. It was set. Help me out. Whereabouts was it set?
I think in Japan.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll go with Japan. And
We'll go with that.
and yeah, so this dumpling that this woman made came alive, and she started to care for it and everything. It started to grow up, and it just got weirder at that point. But I really liked the graphics. I liked the simple storytelling because it was pretty much a silent film.
Yeah, that's what
as
I was
well.
just gonna say. It's wordless.
Yeah, there were no apart from right at the end, wasn't it? When there were written words, not
Yeah.
written words, spoken sentences and stuff.
Yeah.
You okay?
But the only thing was, as much as I thought it was a really good story, why was he a dumpling? Because he was a real person.
I didn't get the metaphor either, to be honest. I
Yeah,
really
I
didn't.
was reading it and it says like a load of white people are really confused about it.
Oh, is it
Um,
like a part of a Japanese, like a tradition or something?
I assume
possibly?
so. It said like it is cultural, and that's why so many other people are so confused about it.
Okay.
My little brothers went to watch it and they said it was a big laugh when it happened. So maybe it's just a big laugh. But I did get confused. Like, what's the metaphor of this whole thing being a dumpling? And then
Yeah.
it might be like dumpling is like a kind of sweet term for a kid. Would you like the word for it?
Oh, I
It's
get
like a
that.
kind
Yeah.
and then it just kind of manifesting it that way.
Yeah, but that's the thing that really caught me off guard. So you've like it's a little short of this dumpling growing up and becomes a teenager and it's like rebelling and stuff like that. But then it comes home with this woman, and then the mum flips out, says it can't go out, and then she eats the dumpling.
Hmm.
What's that supposed to be?
I just think it's like a metaphor for the peak of the anger.
It's like an overprotectiveness. So like,
So they literally.
well, it says she was speaking about being inspired by her own childhood, saying, growing up, I was that overprotected little dumpling for my Chinese mum. I was always so frustrated about being so coddled and overprotected and smothered. I never really understood why she did it.
Hmm.
And that's why
It is a
that sort of-
cultural thing, yeah.
Okay.
It's the first
Yeah.
time they've ever addressed, like, as well, the fact that he brings home a Caucasian girl
Mm-hmm.
and those kind of, like, race relation aspects of it.
Hmm.
That's the first time that's really been addressed in a Pixar film. So that's an interesting extra thing that they wanted to pursue as well.
Yeah.
So you can tell it was very much kind of like a personal production for some, like,
Yeah.
a smaller group of people. And then it just kind of, I think that for me, the soundtrack kind of made it.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
really,
beautiful.
Yeah, uplifting and, like, put you with it, the
Yeah.
mood of it.
And the graphics when she was making the food,
Oh yeah.
and she was like putting everything together, and it looked so real.
And if you've watched people cook like that, it's one of those that, like, everything looks so natural and easy and quick,
Yeah.
and then you try it yourself and it's like a just splurge on the plate.
Yeah.
And it's just it's funny to like, it was a really good representation of that kind of expertise with that kind of thing. Like, you know, she's been doing it since she was 6, and
Yeah.
it's just second nature to her now.
So
Oh,
let's
yeah,
put
it's
this
really
through the
nice.
10-star movie. No,
No.
I'm only joking.
Jesus.
No, it was just a really nice, different thing to watch,
Yeah.
which
I don't know.
I appreciate these days.
I think I'd like that in the future, and it wasn't jarring to go from that feeling to then go into Incredibles, which I would like. You'd think it might be,
Yeah.
but maybe with it being animated, it's easier to switch modes. Like if they'd have been live action, I think it would have been weird to have had something in that vein, and then suddenly jump into a spy film.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the advantages of animation, is that you can jump between feelings and like things like that quickly, and it's not at all weird for the audience.
Yeah,
So I
no,
like
that's
that they
true.
did that.
Yeah, they've done it before. There's been a couple of times in the cinema where there's a short animation. There was one of a guy that was throwing an airplane to another building where the girl that he liked was, and it kept on flying off and never got there, and it was like following her on this train, and they finally met up. And there's like cute little ones like that.
Oh,
There was one before Moana, but obviously we didn't see it in the cinema.
Moana.
So
You have
it
come
seems
so
like it's like a fairly new, like, occurring thing. But I'd like to go and see more like that.
Yeah.
You don't really get the chance to.
No,
Oh, there's
you
also that cute one with the dog. There was like a mum that brought home the dog with like 3 legs.
Yeah, no,
And the-
that wasn't Pixar though, but that's
no,
a really
yeah,
good.
but just as a short film in general. And this boy was playing on his games, he kept on pushing it away. And then he finally came round and started playing with it, and it turned out that he had like an amputated
I
leg.
see.
Oh, made me cry so much.
Yeah,
when I first
as soon as
watched
that
it.
reveal happens, you're like, oh.
Bonding.
It's
Oh,
like a
so
throwback
cute.
to like early animated stuff, isn't it? Is that like there used to be like 4 short things put together, and that was when you went and watched a cartoon or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so I like that kind of historic aspect of it, and you can be really creative in a short film like that. I always think that short films should probably be something that people are more exposed to generally.
Yeah.
Because who do you know who watches? I don't really watch short films.
No,
Yeah.
no,
I don't
no.
watch any of the Oscar-winning ones, and I bet they'd be like really amazing.
Yeah.
So maybe that should be something that, like, you know, cinema should offer, like, especially maybe during Oscar season, like a kind of award-winning short film thing where you watch like 3 in a row or something.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, no, that'd be
So
good.
yeah, maybe if there's more access to that, that'd be interesting.
Just in case anyone's listening, they do. I know a really good website called Short of the Week. I'm not sure if it's .co.uk or .com, but we got given that when we were at university to kind of study those kind of stuff,
It's
to
perfect
see
for
what's
the-
on there.
The attention spans people have nowadays as well, because you can sit and concentrate on one thing for 2 hours when there's Twitter and Instagram and all sorts of
Yeah.
rubbish to distract your brain.
Yeah. So shall we go straight
Yeah,
into
let's move
Incredible? Well,
straight
not
on.
straight in, but
Yeah,
we've kind of
eventually.
danced around. We've finally got here. We're talking about Incredibles 2. It's been a long time coming, 14 years in the making. Well, I'm sure they didn't take 14 years to make it, but it's finally here. One of my favourite Disney Pixar films has a sequel. First question I want to ask before we go into anything about story: did it live up to the wait?
I would definitely say so
Yeah.
for me, and I loved the first film.
Yeah.
I-
You didn't watch the first one till recently, so I guess you've not had that wait. Sorry, so that's
Yeah,
a bit of an unfair
this-
question. But
This year I watched Incredibles,
yeah,
and I didn't see the massive hype on it,
Mm-hmm.
but I was super excited for this one, and I've not had a film that's made me like laugh out loud that much for a long time.
I
So
think a big thing about the first one as well is like watching it then as opposed to now. It was a
Yeah.
lot newer and kind of fresher. Like superheroes weren't that big back then. Like it was kind of ahead of its time when you think about it. And I think that's maybe why it wouldn't have as much impact watching the first one for the first time now. And they kind of update the new one in kind of, I don't know, because they don't change much.
No.
But it's just got a real uplifting energy to it, if you ask me. That I
Yeah.
just like everything was kind of up that way. Everything was happy and enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't think there was really that many moments through the film where we weren't all like smiling, and like there's moments where, because we saw it in the cinema, everyone else was laughing as well, and you could hear how happy the film was making everyone else.
yeah, it's a good atmosphere to be in.
Yeah.
Just can I throw in a fun fact of myself and Incredibles?
Oh, go on.
When I went to go watch the first Incredibles
Yeah.
back in 2004, both my parents took me to go and watch it,
Mm-hmm.
and both my mum and my dad fell asleep.
But you didn't say my stepdad.
No,
It did
Sounded
sound
like you were gonna say
yeah,
stepdad.
It did, yeah.
no,
Sorry, Dad.
I know, jeez, Steve.
God, Steve. Steve's getting thrown under the bus.
that's what I was going to say instead. My mum and my Steve.
Sorry,
yeah.
go on. What
Oh,
did
yeah,
you
No,
say?
they
no,
did
they
fall
both fell
asleep.
asleep.
Oh, did they?
Both
Steve seems
sides
like he
of me.
falls asleep in films, to be fair.
This was like 14 years ago.
Still.
Yeah, no, so they didn't really like Incredibles that much, but yeah, that was just.
I think
a
maybe
side
I think
thing.
it's just been parents as well, though. Like you probably gave them a hard couple of days and they needed the break. Like,
I was
if
an
they
easy
watched it
kid
back.
to
Oh, were
raise.
you?
Oh
Were
yeah.
you chill? I was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I was
To be
an
fair though, you've
absolute
got like a
bitch.
lot of siblings as well. Like they just had me.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's easy. I was the first one as well, so that lets you be a pain until they get another one, and then you've got to get your act together. Which is bullshit, little brother.
That's what my sister always says about me. Like, my parents are so strict with her, and then they just give up on me. They just let me have everything.
Oh, it's fully true.
Yeah.
It's well annoying to see to this day. To be like, well, I couldn't do anything when I was that. I'm like 23 now. That's a big.
So what did you guys think of the film?
Good. That's all I can... Well, obviously, it carries on straight away from where it was left on the first
Yeah.
Incredibles ending,
Yeah.
which was...
The Underminer had just
Yes.
come out
Yeah.
of the ground, and
Make sure you stay for the post-credit scene with the
oh my god, we'll get to that in a bit.
Underminer. Yeah.
Unless you want to go straight into
No,
it
no,
and just
no,
call
no,
it
we'll
out,
come back to
but-
it.
Okay,
We'll
no.
tease it out
wait.
like they did.
Yeah, worth the wait, was it? No. So yeah, it starts off with the Underminer coming out and the family kind of get into action. I'm not going to go... Do you want to go through the film? I don't really want
I don't
to
wanna get
spoil
into the
anything.
story.
Like,
No,
we'll
no.
kind of do non-spoiler stuff and then spoilery stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do it.
But yeah, so it starts off straight after the last film, which I didn't expect, to be honest,
neither did I.
because I was expecting something that was a couple of 14 years later, the same way that they did Toy Story. Like, it was straight after. How old was Andy? I know it was a couple of years after at least,
Yeah,
but
it
in
was
Toy
something
Story,
like that, wasn't it?
he was like 11 or something. Then he the next time we saw them was in when he was going
It
away
was
to
at least
college.
5-6
Yeah.
years later.
Yeah, so I was expecting something like that,
Huh.
but
Because it was announced that it was supposed to carry on straight away from that.
I didn't read anything about it.
Oh, right, okay. So
Yeah.
I was expecting it. I wasn't sure how it was going to play out, just like a continuous
Mhm.
thing. But the main thing that stands out from the film is we see a lot more of Jack Jack.
Yes.
So it's teased in the first one that Jack Jack does actually have powers. You see him briefly, and
they-
then they come into play.
They made a
big
really
time.
good short film as well in between with
Yeah.
the Jack Jack.
Yeah.
I can't remember what
Attack.
it's called. Jack Jack. Was it just called Jack Jack Attack?
Jack Jack Attack, yeah.
Which was really funny with a babysitter the whole time while they were off.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think probably off the success of that, they realised they had a lot of fun they could have with Jack Jack. What with being
Yeah.
a baby and the unlimited powers, like there's a lot of comedy to mine there.
Which did work very well in this film. But
Yeah. It made me so broody. Because you looked at me and you were like, they're not like that in real life. And I was like, look at it. Like when he was just, there's just moments where he's just like laughing at people,
Oh, yeah.
arguing.
Him
or
laughing
just,
was
like,
the most adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a scene where he's watching TV and he sees a burglar while his dad's asleep and he sees a raccoon trying to get in and he like puts the similarities of them both and starts like attacking this raccoon. It's just the
Yeah.
cutest animated character ever.
Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Oh wow, that's
Oh.
a big claim. You
Yeah.
know?
It might just be the most recent one you've seen.
Well, yeah, true.
No, I do feel because he's the main character that made me laugh like out loud. Him and Edna.
Oh,
Together.
Yeah,
Edna
it's
in
hilarious.
this. Yeah,
I still
don't.
love that it's the director. It's Brad Bird who does the
Yeah.
voice of
Yeah.
Edna.
Which he directed this as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
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 No, I'm glad he did. Edna was amazing in this.
Edna's always amazing.
Oh, she should have her own film.
I know.
Honestly. It was-
Frozone, I wish we would have seen a bit more of Frozone as well.
Mm.
But I think I see it with like Samuel Jackson being busy and stuff. But,
Yeah.
like Frozone does come in, do a lot of the saving, and then just kind of disappear off. But I guess that's also kind of like a point that when one family has kids, like I suppose he's kind of representing. Do you hear people wins that like when someone has kids, they never fun, you never hang around anymore. Like he's the version of that he's just there with the wife, kind of like living that life, but he doesn't
Yeah.
really get to see Mr. Incredible and that lot because they've got kids in the way.
I do like that it's kind of like a throwback to the first one where his wife is shouting about like coming back soon.
Yeah.
Because that was
always sounds
iconic, that bit. I
Yeah.
bet they had no idea it would become as famous as that.
Yeah.
Honey, where's my super... Like that became a massive buzzword.
Yeah, it still is, really.
Yeah.
But is there anything else we can kind of talk about non-spoilery before we go
Well,
into
we know
spoilers?
it was known as the main basis that this time round the mum was going to be going off onto missions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of plays out where the dad has to be at home taking care of the children, and that's kind of where most of the laughs come from. Not like a lot of reviews
Yeah.
agreed with that.
See, this is what annoyed me, actually, was going to think about that, was the fact that before this film came out, you started to hear murmurs about, like, you know, like dated stereotype stuff with the single dad not being able to look after the kid and the mum not being able to cope with going out to work. And then when I actually watched the film, they obviously had those for a brief amount of time, but that was because it was purely factual in this situation that the mum had done all the raising.
Yeah.
And then they had the change of thing with, like, the dad got better with the kids, learned how to work with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So to me, that's why I hate with the reaction things you get before the piece actually comes out. Like, people heard the theory behind it and immediately started getting offended.
Yeah.
And it's like, you shouldn't be able to have an opinion on something until you've seen it.
Yeah.
So just I don't know, that's more like a general thing that annoys me, where
Yeah.
people are like, well, this hasn't came out yet and I haven't bothered to read the book this person said
Yeah.
or read the full quote, but I absolutely condemn everything they've said and everything they stand for, and they think they're a terrible human being. It's just like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, pretty much. There are some things I want to go into around that kind
Yeah,
of
go on.
issue.
Is it spoilery?
It is kind of
Yeah.
spoilery. The one thing I will say before we spoil anything,
Listen
I thought the
for-
voice acting was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really held up well for me.
Actually, yeah, because it had been a while since I watched the first Incredibles. I remember the mum's voice completely different. So when I heard her with this, like, not a lisp, something going on with
It's
the voice.
Holly Hunter's own voice. Yeah, it's really hard to describe, but she has a really distinctive voice.
Yeah, and I was like, is this the same
She kind
woman?
of chews
Is
on her
this-
words a little bit.
Yeah.
There's like a strange thing to it.
And I was baffled.
I love
like,
her voice.
I don't remember her sounding like that. So it put me off for the first half of the film, and then I just sort of learnt to deal with it. I find her voice a bit annoying.
I think she always did. I think it's just maybe she didn't have as much. She wasn't having like extended speeches so much as she is in this one. Like
Yeah.
in this one, there's entire scenes where it's just her talking to the control people,
Yeah.
that brother and sister. Whereas in the first one, she's a little bit more in the background, and it kind of focuses more on the kids to a certain
Yeah,
degree as well.
and she's older as well, so
Yeah.
voices change a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was
Yeah,
just checking.
That
'cause
was the
it,
only kind of point.
because it just bugged me for ages. So I was trying to like tap you, I was like, is that her voice? And you're like, what? Getting annoyed. I was like, her voice, and you're like, what? So I just like dealt with it and just waited until after the film.
Yeah,
finished.
no, it was definitely. I was impressed that they managed to get Dash relatively similar to how he
Close,
sounded
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in the first one, because obviously the kid must have grown up by that point.
Well, yeah, would have.
That was why. Yeah.
But isn't
Yeah.
Violet still the same? Because she sounds the same.
Well,
Yeah,
Violet
she
was like
sounds the
20
same.
something when she voiced her.
Oh, was
Like,
she?
she was a full on adult. She might have been older than
Oh,
20
right,
something.
okay.
She could have been in her 30s, you know. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something like Violet's voice actor is the age of the mum's voice actor when they first did it, or some
Oh,
one of
okay.
those bits of trivia that's really
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
Shame we don't know it properly.
Yeah, you get my point now. She's
But
Oh,
like,
yes, would you like to carry on with your like thing when it goes
Your
into your
breakdown.
spoilers?
Okay, right. So,
Horn.
sorry.
Do the horn.
The
Do the spoiler horn.
Klaxon.
Oh, the klaxon.
Oh, klaxon.
The
that's the word.
klaxon. Yeah. There we go. Okay, just before we go into more stuff, even though we've just hit the klaxon.
That's Violet.
Okay.
Sorry, cut that. I did not.
Soph's just
expect
seen the
something like
voice
that.
actress for Violet.
That's the magic of voice acting.
It is a
Seen
little
the
bit.
guy who does Fry and stuff like that.
No.
Yeah,
No, it ruins it for me. Carry on.
and Bender.
And
Although
Ben,
the guy who does Bender is like a fucking master at voices and stuff. John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio's who I'm thinking of, actually.
Oh, does he do Fry as well?
No, he doesn't, but
Okay.
I got mixed up.
Yeah, so the thing I'm going to go into... Hey, I did really like it, but there were some things that really bugged me, and I feel like if said in the wrong way, I could piss off a lot of people. But I'm not going to, and I want to try and be as open about it as I can. So, yeah, what I did appreciate about the film was the pushing... no, that's the wrong way to say it. The fact that they made Elastigirl like the main character in a way, and it was like the woman who had to kind of take over the job and do it right. The only thing that I didn't like about this, and again it sounds like I'm saying it in the wrong way, is I feel like they tried to push the whole idea down our throats. So it was like the men can't do the job, the women have to do the job, and then they also made the villain a woman as well. It's like, oh, because all women are better than men, and I feel like that's the point they were trying to kind of push at some point. You might disagree with me, but like I just kind of felt like the film had some sort of an agenda to it, which I don't know. Because obviously I do agree with the whole men are equal to women, obviously, but I just felt in this way because they kind of put it in such a way where the guy was at home and like making a whole point of it, and I don't know. It just felt like some point was being put across that I didn't like the way that they were kind of forcing it through the film, and there were some other ways that they could have done it, but
There was definitely an aspect of it, but to me it was all enough justified within the film. Like Mr. Incredible creates these massive scenes, and he wouldn't be the most efficient, publicly media accessible. Like all the rationale given with it does make sense to me. I think it very well may have the agenda that kind of, you know, a quite progressive thing with women doing whatever.
I like the progression of it, obviously, because it's something that needs to be addressed.
But you thought it was.
I just thought it.
In the
Yeah,
film.
yeah, that's all I thought. Especially with some of the lines that the, again, spoiler alert, that the. Oh, I've already said it. Sorry. I forget her name, but the villain, the woman who was the sister,
Evelyn Dever.
Evelyn was kind of pushing this whole thing. Not pushing. I'm saying it in the wrong way. Like the differences between her and her brother, and the way that he was, his ideas about the world were so primitive in what they should have been. It just felt like it was this whole "I'm so superior" sort of thing, which I get obviously has been done by other characters as well, specifically men. But I don't know. It's just something about me that I didn't like.
And you were kind of like annoyed the fact that it was so predictable of who the villain was.
Yeah,
that was obvious.
Yeah,
that didn't even bother me because I was so into just the feel of the film and like, all right, I know who the villain is, but I think that I could accept that it wasn't directed at me. And like, I'm not looking for mind-boggling twists here. I'm just looking for like a fun family film experience.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that as well. But because it was the different psychologies of it. Like when the parents died, we've done the spoiler thing, obviously. Yeah.
He kind of, I actually think it's pretty representative of a real thing as well, as that the guy kind of, because there is an extended adolescence thing, like a juvenile thing with men nowadays, where like, you know, into their 30s. With video games and playing with toys and stuff, and not addressing the actual issues, whereas she kind of addressed the reality of the situation with the parents should have gone in the safe room. The dad was too. So yeah, I suppose I can see what you're saying, where it definitely comes off as like very generalistic in that view, but I kind of liked it in the film, and I think it's good putting that idea about a bit more. We've heard enough of the opposite.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I agree, because we were saying before that the villain in the first one was obvious as well, but you don't really mind
Syndrome.
because it's, yeah.
Great voice acted by Jason Lee there.
But it's still, in animated films, still can be important, because in Coco, there was a massive plot twist that we didn't see coming, so it can be done, even though it's not necessarily... I suppose, is Coco aimed more towards adults?
Not really, no.
No.
I think they deliberately, within a lot of these animated things, try and push a message in there, and I really appreciate that side of it. Like Coco's got one. I was just thinking of something else quite good that does. I mean, everything kind of does. What am I thinking of? Like, just whether it's like Toy Story and being more like appreciative of, you know, what you have, and then relationships and stuff like that, and then whether it's like, and I think kind of it's good to get it to kids in that age. Inside Out was what I was thinking of. Like Inside Out clearly is message ridden with like appreciating stuff. So I like when they do that. But I can see how it wouldn't sit right with kind of a lot of guys, that it feels overblown a bit. But then we wouldn't notice it if it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Like if it was fully the opposite around, I guarantee like it wouldn't even really clock into possibly either of our minds. So it's one of those that like, even if it feels a bit overblown for a time, the goal is that after a while we wouldn't even notice it, and we'd start to see people more as individuals than characters, rather than trying to have to represent an entire gender cross section.
The only other point that I had towards that is, and again, it sounds like I'm trying to push something else now, but I feel like if the antagonist had been a male, and then they kind of done the whole, you know, women equal to men in that sense, and they kind of just done it more in a subtle way for me, then that might have made more of an impact, maybe from me. But as I say, I just felt the film was like that a little bit for me. I still had a great time watching it. There were still some other great bits. Samuel L. Jackson is always great. Everything to do with Jack Jack was amazing.
Yeah, there was a scene where Violet got embarrassed in a diner and she spat out a drink through her nose, and it just threw everyone off, and everyone was just laughing for ages.
Yeah, that killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The animation on that was really good. you can see exactly.
Yeah, her eyes were watering.
Yeah.
Like the way she was sat as well. Yeah.
That's I probably would watch that twice.
Yeah. It's definitely worth a rewatch.
Yeah.
I really like the way, just going kind of back to the story and kind of going more into that itself rather than it's what else I thought about the film. I love the way that it incapacitated the heroes and they kind of made them like a puppet of I like the way that they managed to use all the characters well enough, but also as part of the plot.
Yeah. So
obviously the villain controls them at a certain point as well. So that was interesting to see.
It's impressive how they managed to make it okay that like two teenage kids and then a child go to save the day, and it's not wrong that they're doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just cool to me how they get you to that point in the narrative where it's not like, well, A, drop the kid off somewhere for friggin' God's sake. Yeah. And then like B, like, how is it okay that the 10-year-old massively immature little boy is going to save them?
Yeah.
So I like that they like, I always just get impressed as like kind of an exercise in storytelling that they managed to get you to that point.
I think it's good as well that they still show that they get irritated by each other as brother and sister.
And because
like,
that happens,
such a realness.
And then she has to have a word with him and be like, come on, we need to, and in a way that'll get through to him, like, we need to crack down here, this is for real. And like that's kind of like, I don't know, it's done efficiently, but it's done in like a believable way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all nodding, agreeing. Sure. Is there any other points that stood out to you about the film, Matthew?
About the film? No, like beat for beat.
What do you think about it? Did you get this? Because there's a pun in one of the characters' names. I've said it earlier. It was Evil Endeavour. Can you see the pun in there? It's a bit of a stretch. Evil Endeavour. So we would say Evelyn. I guess in America it'd be Evelyn. Would it be? Was that how they'd say that name?
I'm not sure.
Or is it just like is it like a kind of written pun more than anything?
Yeah, I would have.
Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, no, I quite like that.
It's not bad. I really like Bob Odenkirk as her brother.
Yeah,
who's doing
he was really good.
But he's like really selling it in a good, like in a believable way.
I can still always just hear Sol though.
Yeah, they hit on the politics of it as well. Soph's just had the realization. You guys should have seen that face.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like a literal bombshell.
That was like Home Alone full on. This is what messes with you in voice actors.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Sorry.
I shouldn't know that now.
It's fine, you'll forget before long.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But trying to think of anything else about the film. No, the graphics really good.
It passed through. Well, we'll get into it in the Dan Star movie review. Christ's sake. But yeah, the time passed very naturally and comfortably with me. Like even though it's like, I think it's the longest Pixar film yet and stuff like that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it.
It was around 2 hours. Yeah.
Oh wow.
All right. Well, to round it off then, the scene we waited for at the end.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Right, okay, so yeah, Soph told us there was a post-credit scene, and we were like,
technically,
cool!
It's a short one.
Yeah,
so we
there
waited.
Was 2 other people in the cinema at this point.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
So we got through all the credits. There was no post-credit scene, but apparently...
The screen went blank, started playing music. We were like, is it still coming? Guy was around cleaning around us.
And what the actual post-credit scene was, a little graphic of the Underminer, and apparently that is supposed to symbol him coming back in the next one.
Still technically, we did wait for something. But it was the build-up that was funny. It was all of us waiting, and then just Matt getting like steadily irritated.
Yeah, Matt was like, if there's no after scene,
he was like, there better be one, there better be one, and we were just laughing like, oh my God, I actually don't know if there is now.
No, I was playing it up more than anything. It was funny, But yeah, but when we realised what had actually happened, it was.
We had to
it was
shamefully
funny.
walk past the cleaners.
Yeah,
and be
because
like,
they knew what was coming.
"Bye."
They were just like, "Yep."
Thank you.
But overall, I apart from like the other bits that I kind of saw past, I can completely see past that and see what it's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I did genuinely love the film. Everything to do with Edna and Jack Jack was incredible. Pun intended.
Hey, you said it.
Yeah, no, I had a really good time watching this. I really loved the fact that it followed up straight after, and yeah, it's a really good sequel.
Yeah,
for me. Yeah,
I think it's out of a couple of films that we're going to be seeing in the cinema and have done previously. It's like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Jurassic World wasn't. If we
No.
watch The Purge, that's not going to be anything, you know.
Spectacular.
Yeah, well, yeah.
anything good.
Well,
But go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, thinking about it, like I can't think of the last sequel I watched where came out of it and I was like, I want to see another one of these. And like that was fully like I would happily see another Incredibles 3 in a couple of years. I would be down to go and see.
As long as they don't wait 14 years.
Goddamn years, I know. But like I can't think of what's the last film that you watched or the last sequel you watched where you were like, oh, I want to see a third one.
Avengers. Although that's 14.
I don't
Animated.
know if that counts for you.
Yeah, I would say after Toy Story, I was excited to see Toy Story 2 and then 3.
But Toy Story was like
at the
1999,
moment-
wasn't it, or 94?
Yeah.
Are we talking about animated films or
I'm talking
just
about any
sequels
film.
in general?
Like you saw a film and you were like, I want another one of these.
Because most of the films that we kind of watch end up being more character piece, standalone sort
Yeah.
of stuff where it should just be that and that's it. Speaking of you, Quiet Place 2. But
My God.
yeah, so most of the time I don't really want to see a sequel.
That's what's
I know something you're both gonna disagree with me.
Oh,
no.
Ready Player
Ready
One.
Player
Oh,
2.
for God's sake.
Come
No,
on,
ridiculous.
it writes itself.
Stupid. They
I
probably
love-
will. It will happen, and you're going on your own.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't mind. I loved that film.
I don't understand how. That's a character flaw. I feel like certain people have like there'd be like a kind of like a dating question you ask to try and work out whether they're the
Do you
person
like
to
this
pursue.
film?
Do you like Ready Player One? No, okay. Do you watch Love Island? Do you like Ready
Oh
Player
no,
One?
yeah, that is one though.
That is one, to be fair. If you could do it all again.
What film would you want to see again?
What?
Apart from
Like a
like
horror.
sequel wise.
Hereditary 2.
Oh god.
I was talking to a friend about it yesterday, and he was trying to convince me that it was all right. And he was like, "Yeah, the
no.
acting's good. There was some really nice shots in it."
Absolutely not.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's terrible, man. You're not convincing me."
Yeah, I can't think of any sort of film.
That was mainly my point anyway. It's just that it's rare. It feels rare now with these kind of forced sequels. It feels like it feels part of a bigger machine than the actual kind of viewer appeal.
Do you think that Wreck-It Ralph should have stayed as it was?
No.
I watched a bit of it last night. It was on TV, and I really like. It's a really good film, Wreck-It
Wreck-It
Ralph.
Ralph is a very good film.
It's like they're making Frozen 2. They've got more people
Well,
added
that
onto
is
that as well. That
buzzing
should
for
just be
that.
left alone.
Frozen only because I can't deal with hearing any more songs from that at the moment. That blew up way more than it needed to.
Yeah.
But with Wreck-It Ralph, we saw the trailer and there was a part where he was in a game on this kid's iPad and he's feeding this bunny a load of pancakes. And I heard you giggling at it because it just blew up. And the kid started crying and I just heard Dill giggling. And you weren't that keen on that trailer.
I've already seen it.
No, but I mean in general, when we first watched it and we saw like princesses in it and stuff and you were just like...
See, I'll watch it and I'll probably think it's all right, but it's not going to be
Won't
as
live
good
up
as
to it.
it's not going to be as good as this is. I
Yeah,
don't think.
like if anything, it'll feel a little soulless
What about
because
Lego
it's like
Movie?
a cash grab.
Yeah.
Like they could make Frozen 2 literally Elsa and Anna like redecorating the castle they've got, and they've already got a guaranteed $1 billion.
I'm pretty sure that's already a short film. But I think they're making Elsa a lesbian.
Oh, I heard about that actually. Yeah.
So we'll see how that
Yeah, we'll
goes.
see. We'll put that there. Lego Movie
Yeah.
2 is coming out relatively soon, so that's
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That's another
I really
one.
like
yeah,
Lego
no,
Movie,
we're completely off topic here.
Yeah,
but
I
to be
know.
honest, it's an interesting conversation. Yeah, I reckon they should have left that alone because it's a really good standalone film.
Is it?
The people.
Have you seen Lego Movie?
I've watched the first like 20 minutes and I just didn't like it.
You have to watch it all the way through because there's a part where you understand why everything gets
The
put
ending's
together.
deep as.
Ha put together.
Hey,
Come on.
Nice.
God damn it. What else? The only thing that kind of comes to mind in terms of sequels is just everything Marvel. and like that's kind of forced home to you know it's going to get a sequel at some point. So
Yeah.
I don't want to include any of those. But most of the other stuff I feel like should just be left on its own. Like, because even though I love Inception and Fight Club, for example, I'd never want to see those sequels to those films.
If there's a reboot of either of those, I'd kill myself. Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Just my point was, it's so rare to watch a film now, especially watch a sequel and be like, oh, I want another one of these. And like, I was actually super on board with that for this one. So I suppose we'll get into it with the review then and see how strong it gets.
Good segue.
Nice.
That's just
Yeah, I'm just looking at a poll of like which films should get a sequel,
Okay.
and up at the top, someone said Beetlejuice, but I don't agree.
No, I don't know.
No.
I think that's overhyped, you know.
Yeah, I don't like Beetlejuice.
Inside Out. I'd be annoyed if Inside Out got a second one as well, because it's still
Yeah,
not there.
again, that's another great film on its own. Just leave it.
Let's carry on anyway
Yeah.
today.
So this is the 10-star movie review where we put films through the ultimate test. For every question we vote yes, that film gets
1 star.
bingo.
Yes,
The
it
ultimate goal is
10 stars.
bingo.
Such a charity.
As there are 3 of us, the majority vote wins, though half stars are up for contention when necessary. And a small disclaimer, the ratings we give don't always match our enjoyment or experience of the film. This is just a rating system. Oh, bollocks. You ready? Sorry, my mic came on. Right, so question number 1. Does the story make sense?
Yes.
Yup.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. She has to go and save the world by restoring a positive image of superheroes.
Yes.
Good film. Just adding stuff in there. What the hell did I just do? Sorry. Question number 2. Did the script and the dialogue between characters feel natural?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you get the actual sense that siblings are siblings
Yes, a
in the
real
film.
family.
And like it's a real family unit.
Even the way they kind of half bicker, and then he knows he's wrong, but he still has to argue his point, and she kind of lets it go a bit because she can tell he knows he's wrong. Like, there's
Yeah.
a lot of like levels to it that I kind of
Yeah.
saw. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Because at the start he was being very stubborn about like, or even kind of rude about like, but I should be doing it right. Why did they want you?
Yeah.
And she didn't really get annoyed because she could tell he was actually like taking it on board, and he was kind of joking and kind of upset, but he needed to have his whinge.
Yeah.
But like, that's like a real couple. Like, he just needs to have his whinge about it, and he needs to think that everyone thinks that he'd be better, even though they kind of both know the truth of it.
Yeah.
So like, I liked that aspect of it. Like, everybody was very real that way.
Yeah.
Even the way Frozone pops up, like Uncle Frozone, what's he
Yeah.
called or whatever. And it's
Yeah,
like,
that's,
get in the
that's
car.
a
like,
really
I
good
like-
point with
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a moment where he's trying to, like Mr. Incredible's trying to teach Dash how to do maths, and he was like, why does maths change? And it's like such probably a relatable thing for parents because they don't understand what's going on in school nowadays.
The only bad thing about that is there's math.
Yeah. That's,
Well, yeah,
you let
because
it go.
math,
They're American.
mathematics, isn't it?
I know, like
Don't know.
mathematics, maths.
It's the American way of doing it, math rather than maths.
Yeah.
So that's why they did it that way.
Yeah.
I've always said math.
Have you?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my god, what's going on here?
I don't know.
This is huge. We'll need to have words off mic.
Carry on.
Yeah, question number 3. Did you believe that the world of the film existed?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, we've already had a film building up that world, and then, just further hijinks.
You
into
could even
it.
see how the political stuff shakes out. Like, there was one big expensive mishap and they banned all superheroes, and then you can't really come back from something like that quickly.
Yeah.
So then they had this kind of like campaign thing that these
Though,
rich
to be
people
fair,
are
they
doing.
did come back pretty quickly.
Well,
It
that's
was like
just
they
'cause a
did
bunch
one
of
thing, and
super
then they
rich
were like,
people jumped on board, and that's
Yeah.
going to get anything changed.
The main thing it reminded me of, though, is like how they banned it because it seemed like the superheroes weren't really making anything any better because a lot of bad stuff happened. It reminded me of Avengers. You know, when Scarlet Witch tried to guide the
Oh yeah.
thing
in
into
Civil
the
War,
building,
yeah.
and it blew up, and then they tried to get Avengers shut down because they were causing more harm, and that's just what it reminded me of a little bit.
yeah, which would happen in this
Yeah.
world.
Been
So,
around a
yeah.
while, that like a Watchmen idea as well.
Mm.
So yeah, that's a common one.
Yeah. Question number 4. Did you believe that the characters existed in the world of the film?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you like all the new little heroes they introduced? The kind of dopey ones at the dinner party,
Yeah.
Void and stuff.
They were interesting.
Yeah.
The old incontinent. I didn't know about the incontinent. What was the dude? Did he throw?
Oh,
up?
the
Oh,
old
the acid
guy.
reflux
Yeah.
Acid
one.
reflux dude. Yeah, I liked Void a bit, but I thought the rest of them were a bit like I've forgotten what they all did.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
one that I remember because I was just buzzing off the actual power itself was the portal girl.
Yeah, Void.
Vortex was it?
Yeah,
Was
it
it Void
was-
or Vortex?
I
One of
can't,
those.
I
Void,
can't
wasn't
remember.
I think it was Void.
Okay, I
But
might be right.
either way, yeah, because you looked at me and you were like,
The rest of that,
Yeah.
there was that strong dude.
yeah,
There was Acid Reflux guy. There was another girl in there who did something, but you know what I mean? Like, they
The-
were very nondescript.
yeah. It kind of reminded me of Kick-Ass too.
I think that was kind of deliberate
Yeah,
to a degree. Like,
Them to
kind
not
of
be.
forgettable.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, because they end up just being minions anyway. But anyway, moving on. Question 5. Did you get emotionally invested in the characters? I don't know if I can say that, to be honest. Like, as much as I like the film and I like the actual characters within it, I don't... Maybe it's just me. I don't get emotionally invested, particularly.
The only emotionally invested thing was that I wanted a baby after Jack Jack. That was it.
But, like, did you not kind of, like, you know, sympathise with Violet in her position with, and, like, you liked what Mr. Incredible was doing to try and help. So, like, you were like, you know, that's how a dad would try and help who didn't know any better. Like, do you know what I mean? I think for the reason that, like, all the actions to me were kind of justifiable within the character,
Yeah,
I became a bit more, like, you know, invested in, like, all right, well, he's trying. I hope she forgives him a bit here and she loosens up a bit with him. And, you know, Dash is the immature one, but he does get his head on at times and he's still a kid. So, like, you know what I mean? I do half agree with you both that I wasn't that emotionally invested. But
I'd argue for the half star because
Yeah,
we kind
maybe.
of recognise that, but the same, like, I don't have that specific
yeah.
attachment.
I think the
Yeah.
reason it was kind of solely, like, there wasn't any moment where you had to question your loyalties within the film. So I think because of that, you didn't realise that you were emotionally invested. Whereas if there was, like, a situation where one of them had gone against the other, or, you know, one of them's
Yeah.
life was on the line, and
Would have been great if it was a vampire film.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, maybe because we weren't put in the position where you had to feel those kind of things, that you didn't notice it as much.
possibly. But I always feel like I'd cry if I was more invested, and there's probably
But where were
elements.
the cry moments?
I don't know.
There wasn't any in
There
there.
never really is
'Cause
for me though.
it's just like, well you'll find them from anywhere.
Yeah. So
I'd
let's
say
start
half
going.
star. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a half star.
All right, I'll take the push for a half star.
Okay.
I wasn't even sure I wanted a star. Yeah, go on.
Question number 6. Did you like the visual and audible elements of the film?
Yeah.
The soundtrack was stunning. That's
Yeah.
what a lot of the reviews come out with as well. It's Michael Giacchino or something like that.
Michael... Oh, what's his fucking name? He's done big stuff. I'm pretty sure he's the one who just recently did Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
believe
remember you
you're
saying
right,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
the
what's it
yeah.
called?
Something
soundtrack.
Italian-ish beginning with G.
Was it soundtrack? The theme song for like Elastigirl and Mr. Incredibles and stuff when we were singing it when we came out.
Oh,
You remember?
yeah. Like the TV serial thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, no, they were quite fun.
Did you say TV serial?
Yeah.
SERIAL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, as in like the balls.
I was confused.
Question number 7. Were you
Yes.
yeah.
That's
Were
one
you
of the few
absorbed into
ones
the
I
film?
can say that for, in all honesty. Like, I wasn't really getting distracted thinking about random stuff for very long during this film at all. I was pretty keyed in the whole time.
Yeah, you were just getting annoyed by a little girl that was asking what was going on. But other than that,
Yeah, maybe I was
Because
a
we
bit
did
harsh,
watch it in
but-
quite a busy cinema and I just didn't notice anybody. I was fully in it.
yeah, except when I heard people laughing or the odd sort of kid asking what was going on. But it never took me out of the film.
No, straight back
yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
You just kind of hear it.
I
and
think
you're
I
like,
almost liked that. Like, I like that kind of background noise because it means they're engaged and they're getting it, and like you get a laugh at weird moments, which kids
Yeah.
do. Which is like I think that's kind of sweet. It's just like everybody's still. There's not anyone crying or bored or wandering the aisles, which means it's a good film.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Full
He
star.
gets it,
Full
yeah.
star. Okay.
It's doing well.
Question number 8. Did the film have a good ending?
All right. So what? How did it kind of distinctly like wrap up right at the end? They saved it. They got off the boat. She had
Superheroes.
mercy on that. She saved that lady. The bad
Yeah.
one. I'm really not sure how it actually wrapped up right
Yeah.
now.
I'm
No,
so
I can't remember.
Oh, I think like she came back home. I only briefly remember she saw that Jack had powers.
Oh, Violet talks to the boy.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Oh,
cinema.
they're going to the
She
cinema,
just
aren't
talks
they?
to him normally, like a human being.
And they're all in the car going to watch the
Of
film
course,
with her.
yeah.
And
then
then
they drop off
then
on
they
the date.
see,
You're a close family. They see the Underminer.
yeah, or something like sirens go off, and
She
then
gives
she
him money
drops
for
him off
popcorn.
there. She's like, "I'll be back in 5,"
Yeah.
and then they all go out to go and do something.
Yeah, that was. I think it's a good ending, but because we forgot it.
Yeah, maybe.
was it
And I
that
also kind of
memorable?
watching it was like, oh, this is weird. Like they all went along to drop her off on the date. Like I get that.
Yeah.
I get it had to make sense because the Underminer thing. But like, why would Dash go? Like, I suppose they have to take him with him. But to me, it felt like it would make more sense for one of the parents to take her.
I wouldn't imagine they would either, because they leave the baby with Dash and Violet all the time, so why couldn't they have just left them?
Yeah,
It was
just-
more as like an amusement of Dash like introducing
I felt like the
himself
new
and-
understanding parents would have just had like one of them take her and just be cool and like leave it.
Yeah.
So maybe we don't give it the star for that.
Yeah, because it seems really coerced to get to that ending where it's like the
Yeah.
family unit together.
Yeah.
And also that post-credit thing, I think alone means we probably don't want to give it a star.
Yeah.
Just to have a hype up like that, and then turns out to get a little image of a. I don't know. I didn't see it because it was that tidy and subtle.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it a star, I don't think.
Oh,
That's cool.
okay.
No star.
No
Yeah.
star.
No
No
star for the
star.
ending.
No.
Oh wow.
Well, we
Okay.
struggled to remember it in the first place, which isn't always great.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's being pretty discerning as well. Like if we hadn't gave it so many, I think we probably would have gave it the star.
Yeah,
But at this point,
it's
we're like, are
doing
we gonna
well,
give this
so.
a 10? What's going on here?
I know what we're up to, but it's not a 10.
Half. Yeah.
Question number 9. Did you enjoy the film?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Oh.
this was really good. I'd watch
Yeah.
it again, which is one of the rare instances where I'd go and watch it again straight away.
Good age group range as well. Like I think you can, anybody you're gonna enjoy it with people of any kind of age.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
there's people that were like, we went as a group of 3, there's people that went just with the kids, there's families, there was just people probably older than us
Mm-hmm.
going to watch it. It was such a mixed audience.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's so good. It's very rare you get that.
Yeah, it didn't even do the thing as well where like certain films kind of disguise adult jokes and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And there wasn't even much of that. It was just everything kind of worked on whatever level, and it was
Yeah.
more like I've noticed more and more about just the feeling of a film. Like it's hard to place, but there was just like a real good energy, kind of uplifting feel to it that got everyone through the time feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You came out of it happy. No one came out of that with a frown on their face.
That's good. All right. And question number 10. Did the film have a personal impact on you?
No.
Nah.
I don't even know if the
Sorry.
original did, to be honest. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not one of those films. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to be a spy family now. like,
Yeah, if anything, Spy Kids would make
superhero
you feel
family.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, make you want to have those.
And that's
stuff.
more realistic. Kind of. Yeah.
Is it?
No.
Yeah, I think even with the animated and superpowers,
Yeah.
it's probably more realistic.
Yeah.
Why isn't that big microwave a thing yet?
Yeah, I know.
I know,
think
yeah.
Way too often.
Yeah.
See, that always annoyed me because there was a Tom and Jerry episode
I'd
from
take
like
that over half a cars.
1990s or whatever, and he put a packet into the microwave and pulled out, and it was a roast dinner, and it always made me so hungry. Even though it was Tom and Jerry,
Yeah.
it always made me so hungry. Oh yeah, we need that.
Yeah.
Want to have a guess how many stars, by the way?
8.5.
7.5.
Well,
Maybe we should have gave it the ending one.
yeah. Has anything beaten it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be
Let me just
fuming
get
if
to the
it's
list.
something that I don't like as
Quiet
much.
Place will have.
Yeah. So what's beating it so far? Isle of Dogs, Quiet Place, Deadpool, Solo.
2?
Yeah, Deadpool 2.
We
dear.
went over with that.
Solo, Cargo,
Over that.
and Matilda.
Alright, we fucked this
Oh
up.
yeah, we did. Bloody hell.
We messed up, guys.
Cargo shouldn't be.
Cargo
above this.
shouldn't be anywhere.
Cargo got
Deadpool
9
shouldn't be
stars.
anywhere.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, we were in a charitable mood.
Yeah.
We must have just ate or something.
Yeah,
Well.
no. I go on record to say I enjoyed this film probably more than most of those films.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
And,
super fun experience.
Yeah, it was a great film.
Yeah.
So, has anybody else got anything else to end the podcast, or do you want
No.
to end it there?
Let's end it.
End it there.
End it all.
End. Okay. So, thank you.
Last podcast ever.
Yeah,
Panic.
there you. Suicide Pact. Right, thank you very much for listening to this episode of Tripod Talk. If you want to keep listening to us, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, any sort of podcast app. Just go ahead and subscribe to us. If you already haven't done already, then if you do, we'd much appreciate that. Don't know if that made any sense.
It
Sorry.
kind of-
Yeah,
Yep,
I'm Matt Lidster.
that's alright.
You've been,
Adele Anwar.
and you've been.
So jealous.
And yeah, that was Tripod Talk.
That's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week, what we're talking about? No idea. But we're talking about,
This is real half-assed.
films.
It'll
and
be
stuff.
something to do with the film.
Something
Yeah.
to do with the film.
The
And some
name will
film
be in the
news.
video. Stop being a twat about it.
Yeah.
listener.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.